Hello and welcome to Daily Reflection with Aneel Aranha. Today is the 21st of March 2020 and we're going to reflect on Luke 18:9-14. Jesus also told this parable to some who trusted in themselves that they were righteous and regarded others with contempt. Two men went up to the temple to pray, one a Pharisee and the other a tax collector. The Pharisee, standing by himself, was praying thus: God, I thank you that I'm not like other people, thieves, rogues, adulterers, or even like this tax collector. I fast twice a week. I give a tenth of all my income. But the tax collector, standing far off, would not even look up to heaven, but was beating his breast and saying, God, be merciful to me, a sinner. I tell you, this man went down to his home justified rather than the other. For all who exalt themselves will be humbled, but all who humble themselves will be exalted. The Gospel of the Lord. Let me begin this reflection about the parable of the Pharisee and the tax collector with a question. Why does our Lord Jesus get on the Pharisee's case? The man is not lying when he says he's not a thief, a rogue, or an adulterer, and he is most certainly different from the tax collector. He fasts twice a week, which is more than was required by the law, and he tithes faithfully. So why does our Lord pick on someone who is obviously a good man? Because the Pharisee believed this goodness was so impressive, it couldn't fail to make an impression on God. It was, after all, making a huge impression on the people as he made a public display of his religiosity. So God would also be so impressed with the rigorous way he followed all the ceremonies and traditions of the law, God would seat him in the throne room of heaven. But what is wrong with this, we might ask, because it describes us, doesn't it? What's wrong is this: the Pharisee's prayer has none of the elements of a confession. He doesn't ask forgiveness for his sins, quite possibly because he doesn't think he has committed any. After all, he hasn't murdered anybody or slept with anyone's wife, no matter that he thinks about both constantly. He doesn't thank God for anything either. His entire prayer is about himself. Now, I have heard similar prayers in the church, so I think we need to understand the lesson Jesus is teaching here. We know the story of Philip Neri, who on seeing a murderer being led to the gallows said in all sincerity, "There, but for the grace of God, go I." It is based on something Paul had once declared. I paraphrase, "I am the least of the apostles, although I do not even deserve to be called an apostle because of the things I've done. But by the grace of God, I am what I am." And the wise among us know this applies to us and to every individual born in sin. Paul then goes on to say that whatever he is able to do is because of grace. Yet not I, but the grace of God that was with me, he says. Now I have a pencil with me here. It is standing upright, well, other than the bobbing it's doing. There is no way that a pencil can stand up on its own. And we are like this pencil. If any of us are able to lead upright lives, it is only because of the grace of God. If we can just remember this, it will help us to avoid an attitude of self-righteousness that so described the Pharisees who angered our Lord, and be like the humble person he so likes. God bless you.